Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Feny Yulita Suryaningtyas. Today I will present present about my analysis entitled Hegemony Analysis of the Maypole of Marymount by Nathaniel Hawthorne according to cultural studies criticism. For the introduction, cultural studies originates from the Birmingham Centre for Contemporary Cultural Studies, or CCCS, in England, which began in 1968, led by Stuart Hall. When it comes to cultural studies, it can actually be very broad in scope. Cultural studies is an interdisciplinary field of study, meaning that it draws on many different subject areas, including sociology, anthropology, political science, and history. Next, Antonio Gramsci. So Gramsci is the founder of the idea of hegemony. Gramsci's hegemony is rooted in the thoughts of Marx and Lenin, because in the era of Marxism, there is a thought similar to hegemony, which is called domination. The alliance is more focused on politics and capitalism. Meanwhile, Gramsci made the notion of hegemony wider. The hegemony that Gramsci initiated is hegemony related to culture or social culture. So it's not just about politics and capitalism. Hegemony itself is an important theory of cultural studies. Hegemony is a term used to describe the dominance or authority that one group or culture has over another culture. For example, in the United States, a hegemonic culture is one that is largely controlled by white people and serves or represents the majority rather than incorporating the diversity that would more accurately represent the nation's population. Next, the Maypole of Marymount. The Maypole of Marymount is a short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It first appeared in the Token and Atlantic Souvenir in 1836. It was later included in Twice Told Tales, a collection of Hawthorne's short stories in 1837. It tells the story of the 17th century Mount or Marymount colony, century British colony located in what is now Quincy, Massachusetts. Next. In this story, there are several subjects about cultural studies that can be discussed. One of them is hegemony. And also in this analysis, I will show a little history or background from Marymount and Puritan. Starting from the background of Marymount. Marymount was originally a people who lived in the Puritan colony of Plymouth, Mass. But because they could not obey the Puritans, they founded their own settlement, which was named Mount Wollaston. Thomas Martin, one of them, with the other settlers, changed the name of the village to Mount Murray. Murray is defined as cheerful because they didn't want to live in gloom like the Puritans. Every day, the atmosphere of Marymount is always fun. Maypole is beautifully decorated. The wood is tied with ribbons of 20 different colors, and it looks very festive. They have fun with Indian women, dance or what we call as a party. But on the other hand, on the other side, Puritans keep an eye on the Marymount and they get annoyed because it looks like they are performing a pagan ritual or mass sex ritual. Next is the historical background of Puritan. Puritanism began in England in the late 16th century when Protestant reformers attempted to rid the Church of England or the Anglican Church, of the elaborate ceremonies, rituals, and hierarchical structures maintained by the Roman Catholic Church. Puritans believed that the Church of England, so similar to the Roman Catholic Church, and must eliminate ceremonies and practices that are not rooted in the Bible. It makes them rebel and makes them more dominant. Based on this, based on the history both, if it is related to this story, so there is a Marymount leader known as the priest William Blackstone. So Blackstone was an Anglican priest in the New England during the 1600s. Puritans don't believe in Blackstone because he works according to old church law. Puritans saw the Old England Church as unworthy and tried to reform it, burned down the Blackstone house, and eventually kicked it out of Boston. Now, from this Puritan history, it has been shown that there is hegemony in it, where Puritans dominate a place by getting rid of people who are not in accordance with their traditions and thoughts. The next is in this story, there are several points that show that the Puritans are trying to dominate. One of the example is in this quote, and with his keen sword in the cut assaulted the hallowed Maypole, nor long did it resist his arm. It groaned with a dismal sound. It showered leaves and rosebuds upon the remorseless enthusiast, and finally, with all its green bows and ribbons and flowers, symbolic of departed pleasures, down fell the banner staff of Marymount. As it sank, tradition says the evening sky grew darker, and the woods threw forth a more somber shade. And the analysis of that quote, so it bravely attacked the holy Maypole, and all the ornate symbols of Maypole joy have passed and cast a gloomy cloud around Marymount. Here it indicates that the Puritans are people who are more dominant and superior than Marymount, and this is showing the hegemony by the Puritans attack the Maypole. This is where the Puritans dominate the the Marymount. And the next quote, there is must be for the Queen General Court to determine whether stripes and long imprisonment, another grievous penalty, may atone for his transgression. May let him look to himself for such a violator our civil order. It may be permitted us to show mercy, but woe to wretch that troubleth our religion. And the last of that quote is that quote explained about the distribution of punishment for prisoners and also for the priests. This is because breaking the religious rules in the Puritan is a crime, and they have to be punished according to Puritan's tradition because they embrace freedom, like dancing, getting drunk, partying, and so on. So that, sorry, so that all Marymounters can do is surrender and accept when the Maypole is destroyed and the residence is being punished. And the conclusion is from the analysis, it can be concluded that there is a theory of hegemony in it because there is a difference between dominant and subdominant power. The dominant is depicted with the Puritans, while the subdominant is described with the Marymount. Puritans think that Marymount society is not up to their principles, so that the Puritans attack, dominate, and punish Marymount with the right religious rules according to the Puritans. So it's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.